So you're ready to get in photo shoot shape and you want to know how to do so. We're going to explain exactly how to do it because we did that ourselves.
Who better to learn from?
That's it. Welcome once again to the Mr. Strong, Mr. Tickle podcast. You don't need...
Strong.
You didn't need to say that. You know he's here. But yes, I'm Mark.
I'm Emmett.
And we're going to break down the exact pillars that we recommend, not only to you watching this, but the exact ones that we followed ourselves in order to get in photo shoot shape before this summer.
100%. And I suppose, it is about getting in photo shoot shape this episode, but you can apply that to just general fat loss either.
Because at the end of the day, a photo shoot prep is basically just an extended diet at the end.
Precisely. And getting leaner than you would for a general fat loss phase.
Pretty much. And in order to get there, it is just a little bit longer, maybe a little bit more restrictive, but the same principles will apply. So if it is something that you are interested in, this video will be extremely helpful for you. Do you want to get stuck in?
Yeah, I was just thinking there when we mentioned that point, I suppose my shoot prep initially started out as a general fat loss phase. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know I was going to do a photo shoot. And it was intended to be a 12-week fat loss phase. Because like that, I'd spent 18 months in a gaining phase. And then I had a couple of clients doing photo shoots. And I was like, do you know what? It's been a long time since I jumped in front of the camera and actually walked the walk in terms of photo shoot prep. So I'm going to extend this diet. And it extended out for another 8 weeks. And it ended up being a 20-week diet instead of a 12-week diet. Right. And that's how I got in photo shoot shape. So
you had a bit of FOMO from watching the others doing it.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's been a while.
Don was up in my studio doing a shoot. And I was like, do you know what? He had two of my clients for it, and I was like, I missed the buzz of this, and I'm in the middle of a fat loss phase. Why not drive it on and do a shoot?
Yeah.
And now here we are planning for another one.
Yeah, and exciting times ahead.
Yeah.
So, breaking things down when it comes to dieting in general or getting photo shoot lean, because that's exactly what you're after. The first and the most important one, it will always boil down to your protein and your calories.
100%.
Simple as that.
Yeah. And you can complicate it as much as you want, and you can try and sound as sexy and as fancy as you want, but at the end of the day, that's what gets you lean, whether you're in a calorie deficit or not. And if you want to maintain the muscle that you have or build on the muscle that you have, your protein needs to be sufficient.
Yeah, so roughly, like very rough figures we're given here, but about a gram of protein per day is per pound of body weight.
2 grams?
2 grams per pound.
2 grams per kilo, 1 gram per pound.
So roughly 2 grams per kilogram of body weight will be a sufficient target for your protein.
Yeah.
Or else 1 gram per pound.
Sorry. Yeah.
But basically, when you're able to stick to that, it will, as you said, keep you satiated. It will maintain that muscle that you have underneath the body fat. And the calories, once you're tracking those consistently throughout the week, that will allow you to achieve that calorie deficit and see the drops on the scales, see the physique improve on a weekly basis. And it is as simple as that.
Yeah.
But there are other things which we'll mention in the next pillars that do speed things up.
Of course. Yeah.
Or at least help it.
Yeah. And like that, if you're not in a fucking calorie deficit, you will not drop fat. Simple as that.
Yep. So that's your inputs. That's what you're consuming, the energy that you're consuming. Second pillar then is your activity. So typically your outputs. If you're moving throughout the week, throughout the day, is there a way that we can speed things up there? There is.
There's many ways we can speed it up, really. And, we were kind of doing 2 different methods for our own photo shoot, whereas I was just driving up my activity in terms of steps, but you were doing actual structured cardio.
Yeah, and that was the latter stages of the photo shoot prep. It didn't start off like that because I was getting to a stage where, I was getting a lot leaner than I would have been, say, at the start. But for the majority of people, the main thing that they need to focus on when it comes to their activity is just tracking their movement, tracking their steps. Mm-hmm. And whatever steps they are doing, what I love doing with my own clients, especially when we're starting off a bit of an assessment, just track your steps for a full week. It doesn't matter if you're getting 4,000 steps, if you're maybe living a sedentary lifestyle, work at an office, or maybe you're on the construction site all week and you're getting 18, 20,000 steps. Yep. Like when we were on the gym floor, we were banging out 20,000 steps a week.
100%, yeah.
So regardless of what your current activity levels are at, track it for 1 week and simply add 2,000 to that.
Yep.
So it's just a little bit more.
And I use the same method with my clients. Like rather than, as you said, if you have somebody who's sedentary and they're working in an office and you give them 10 to 12,000 steps, it's just not going to be feasible. And straight away they're looking at this thinking, I can't hit that. Whereas if you just get them to track it for a week, they might be getting 5,000 or 6,000, and then you say, right, let's add 2,000 to that. It's much more doable, and you're setting yourself up for success.
Yeah, that's pretty much it then with the activity. But like you said, another extra step that you can do is that prescribed cardio. Yeah. And especially maybe the latter stages of the diet, maybe you are that little bit leaner and maybe you're seeing a bit of a plateau a couple of weeks in, which I never really did hit that, but it was that extra bit of a step because I wasn't getting as active. I was living quite sedentary lifestyle, I suppose, myself. I was sitting at the office desk all day. I didn't have a walking pad. I was too stubborn or too main to get one, depending on how you want to frame it.
Too man.
Consider me, I'm frugal. That's how I would describe myself. But because of that, I had to make it up in other ways. Yeah. So I was basically getting about 800 to 1,000 calories of cardio burnt per week. That was me sitting on my arse on the sit-down bike, YouTube on the iPhone whilst I was pedaling away, burning the calories, happy out.
Yeah, and I suppose you mentioned about hitting a plateau and kind of introducing it then. You don't need to hit a plateau. I like to be proactive as well instead of being reactive and seeing a plateau and then going, oh, fuck, let's add a whole heap of cardio. Be proactive and kind of add it gradually. And that's what you did as well. Like you bumped it up gradually when you needed to. And that's something I'm actually implementing with a client literally at the minute who's doing a shoot here in Don's place in October. And we started off like that with a set step count. And now this week we've introduced structured cardio. She hadn't hit a plateau. She was down a nice amount of weight last week, but still we're just being proactive because we would rather be ready in time than come to the last few weeks and then we're panicking, trying to throw shit at a wall and hope it sticks because we didn't do what we should have done when we should have done it.
Yeah, it's nice to have that bit of buffer at the end of the diet phase rather than playing catch up or trying to get the homework in last minute job the night before. I'd rather
be ready 2 weeks in advance than be thinking I need to push this out 2 weeks.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. And speaking of which, being ready leads us into pillar number 3, which is the actual food shop.
Yeah. And, as fucking cringe and cliche as it is, fail to prepare to fail. And I see it so often on clients' check-ins, like, oh, I didn't have X, Y, or Z in the fridge or in the press, so I went for the convenient option. I'm like, okay, well, we need to set this up and we need to make sure that you have what you need when you need it. And something that I recommend to my clients, because it's something I do myself, is order the shopping to the house. 2 kids, So we've got 2 kids, busy schedules. Sometimes it's not always possible to get into those stores and do a big shop. And being brutally honest, that can overstimulate the fuck out of me and my wife bringing 2 toddlers shopping. So we order it to the house, right? It's one less thing to worry about. Yeah. And that's something that I recommend to my clients. Yeah. And I know you have other little tactics that you recommend to your clients as well.
Yeah. So obviously I don't have a family like that, so I can make it into the shop. But because I'm only shopping for myself, like obviously I'm privileged in that sense, but it just means I can go in, nip into a little Dunnes stores, an Aldi, whatever, you name it, and I don't even know, or I don't even need to have a list made out. I know exactly what I'm going in. Pro tip though, just make sure you go into the shop full.
Nice and full.
Have a meal beforehand, because if you go into the shop hungry, you are shooting yourself in the foot there. The amount of times I went in hungry and came out with the extra few bags of potatoes that I didn't need, or the extra fruit and nut bar.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Make sure you go in nice and full for doing your food shop. I break it down to 2 shops a week, Monday and Thursday. Start of the week, start me off on the right foot, or maybe even the Sunday, so I can prep 1 or 2 meals to keep me going on those busy laptop days. And then before the weekend approaches, Thursday evening, get my couple of bits ready, have 2 or 3 meals, maybe just my lunch is made, or the likes of what I like to do, just get maybe half a kilo worth of mince cooked up, put in the fridge, and I could just nip away whenever I need it. Yeah. Same thing with spuds, same thing with rice, just throw it into the fridge or whatever, and that's ready to go. Find that quite helpful. And it's something that I was actually chatting to one of my clients yesterday about, and he's doing the very same thing. He's prepping food on the Monday and the Thursday. So nice and frequent, keeps things relatively fresh as well, but he's keeping that routine in place. He's trying to stick to that all month, and he is down. He's actually officially down 10 kilos as well, which is great to see.
Savage, yeah.
But just by having that little bit of a food prep in place, going to the food shop on those regular days, makes things a bit easier to stick.
Keeping it consistent, and a Thursday is a good day to do it as well, because it keeps you on track for the weekend.
Exactly, because that's huge. Look, everybody says, oh, weekends are very busy. It's busy for everyone. Yeah, exactly. Everyone's in the same boat. Everyone has the same struggles. Like your problems aren't unique as much as you like to think.
You can be busy and be prepared.
Yeah, for sure. And that will bring us then to point number 4, which, another cliche as it is, repeat the above.
Yep.
Rinse and repeat. People think that in order to get photoshoot lean or to diet down to hit, say, that 10 kilos on the scales dropping off, that they need some magic pill or potion, that we're taking extra supplements, that we're hiding away from certain people. No, that's absolutely not the case. It does boil down to your calories and your protein intake. Are you able to consistently show up and do it on a weekly basis? Exactly like what we did for those 11 or so weeks.
There is a magic pill.
Well,
And people are going to absolutely hate me for saying this, but I don't care.
oh no.
It's fucking consistency.
Okay.
Do it consistently over and over again. That's the magic pill. And anybody you see who think is taking a magic pill, that's their magic pill. They do it consistently. They do it when they're busy. They do it when it's stressful. They do it when the fucking kids are sick. They do it when the dog is sick. They do it when, work is hectic. They do it consistently regardless of what's going on. And that's, I know, easier said than done, but that's the harsh reality.
Yeah. But like you said, it's easier said than done. Even those people that do show up when things aren't going their way, they will show up regardless, And that is the consistent thing. Consistency isn't, I'm nailing my calories 100% every single day, or I'm smashing my training 4 times a week for the whole 12 weeks. There were sessions that we had to miss or reschedule because maybe our kids were sick, or when I was during my photo shoot prep, I was
on holidays. Yeah.
I was in Japan for 2 weeks, and those 2 weeks I wasn't getting 4 sessions a week. I actually got 3 sessions in the first week, just the way things worked out. I couldn't cook a single meal when I was away. I was eating sushi and ramen every day, but still coming away 3 kilos lighter.
And that's the other side of it as well. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect consistency. Like, imperfect action is better than fucking no action. So you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be consistent and do the basics well.
And that's exactly what we're trying to preach, especially with the likes of, like, we have exciting bits coming up. We have a group photo shoot coming up next May. So these 4 pillars that we're after mentioning, this is exactly what we're going to be preaching to them. And alongside that, we're going to be preaching, because it just doesn't tie to the photo shoot prep, to typical fat loss, rapid fat loss at that, which is exactly what we're going to be preaching in M8. And our next intake will be coming up shortly. If you do want to know more about that, that's our group coaching, the 8-week rapid fat loss plans. Those will be available in the link in the description below, where you can get all the information on that. Sign up to the priority list for when the next intake is available.
So the doors will open on, I'll say it right this time, and we kick off on. And if you want to get the early bird access, you need to be on the priority list. So head to the link and get on it.
Yeah. And if you have any other questions, you know where to find us. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we'll catch you in the next one.
Thanks for tuning in. Peace.
Peace.